We've just made it easier to separate yourself from the crowd. Dodge Caravan. Different.
Shirley Hancock, only on Coin 6 News. People you know.
Spending spree. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at malls across the land. Inside the toy wars, the retailing battle that is anything but child's play. Stop and go. Will the Arco merger deal ever get in gear? And no Thanksgiving at the cranberry bogs being gobbled up by developers.
This is the CBS Evening News with Russ Mitchell.
And good evening on this Western edition. It is a merry first weekend of Christmas shopping for the nation's retailers. The first numbers are in and show consumers are dashing through the stores and the internet en route to what could be a record season. While shoppers in the West are spending slightly less than the rest of the country, the cash is flowing. We have two reports for you tonight. The first from Jeffrey Kaufman.
And they're off. The Christmas season is just 2 days old, and already sales are 6% ahead of last year. But there's a lot more at stake than getting the right teddy for Tommy and new mittens for Mom.
There's absolutely no question it's a fight for survival.
A fight between traditional retailers and those upstarts, the e-tailers, as in internet. Even the president admits he'll let his fingers do the shopping.
About 4 million American families will buy some of their gifts online for the first time this holiday season. I intend to join them.
No matter how you look at it, we are in the middle of a retail revolution. Online shopping may have seemed like a fad last year, but it's almost impossible to ignore this year. Internet sales are expected to double. One rating service reports today that online sales increased 18% just in the last week.
With e-tailers taking $8 billion out of the season this year, somebody's not going to survive. It's going to come out of somewhere.
Such a threat that this week this upscale mall in St. Louis has ordered its stores to stop promoting online shopping, a move that is getting more scorn than support.
That particular mall is really out of step with the rest of the industry, and it's the only one I know of out of 1,800 malls in the country who are doing this. You cannot fight the internet.
Shoppers Joe and Elisa Garassi are probably typical. They'll do some shopping online, but they don't mind standing in line. Is the internet going to kill retailing? Are stores going to disappear?
No. There's always going to be people like me coming to New York or coming to some place and just wanting to see everything. Fighting the crowds, having a good time, enjoying this Christmas experience.
Even if internet sales do grow to $6 or $8 billion, they'll still be just a fraction of the $180 billion American consumers will spend by December 25th. Jeffrey Kaufman, CBS News, New York.
This is Jerry Bowen. Call it the Christmas Wars.
Crazy is a pretty good word for it. Crazy in a really good way.
The internet battle for dominance in holiday toy sales.
Amazon.com has tons of toys.
A war being waged on the airwaves by Amazon, Toy Smart, and KBKids.com.
Cool. Happy holidays.
But the heavyweights are traditional retailer and internet latecomer Toys R Us and e-commerce giant eToys.
We've built our entire company from the ground up. That's going to be the reason why we succeed here. Because a lot of people underestimate how hard it is to convert from a brick-and-mortar world over to an electronic internet world.
Brick-and-mortar behemoth Toys R Us isn't conceding a single Pokemon or Barbie doll. CEO Mike Goldstein had to jumpstart the company's website in a game of corporate catch-up.
We've had lots of problems in terms of handling the customer flow. Our systems weren't developed enough to handle the number of people who want to be on the site. And we've been working on improving it, and I think we're getting there.
At stake is the emerging internet toy market, expected to grow to $230 million in holiday sales this year, a six-fold increase over last year. And last year, eToys sales over the internet were 3 times those of Toys R Us.
We like to think of it as a war as well. Right now, eToys has the lead. We're going to make sure that we keep the lead.
But to hear industry analysts talk, it's a slim lead at best.
It's gone from a sort of a one-horse race where eToys was the leader to now 2 players. Toys R Us has really stepped up what it's doing. They've done a massive advertising campaign. They're taking advantage of their brand name.
But the 2 toy big boys can't be blamed for looking over their shoulders. Retailing giant Walmart, the country's largest toy retailer, won't even unveil its website until next year. That's when this fight over kids' toys will get really interesting. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
So who's winning the toy war? We went back to Internet analyst Alan Weiner of Nielsen Net Ratings in San Francisco.
Well, this first weekend, we've seen eToys have a slight lead over Toys R Us in terms of the ongoing battle between the two companies. It doesn't take into account the people who go to the web for Toys R Us who go to their store, but clearly on the web, eToys is leading.
I understand there were some technical problems this weekend. A couple of sites crashed. Now, potentially, what could that do to consumer confidence when it comes to shopping on the web?
It can really hurt consumer confidence. We're not really clear whether a person who encounters technical difficulties from a site will really ever go back again, or whether they'll immediately go to a competitor in that same category. So that's a risk that companies who don't have their infrastructure together are going to face.
Overall, now, how many more people are shopping on the Internet this weekend, and what are some of the big winners and losers?
We're seeing huge increases in most of the major categories. The winning categories to us are toys, electronics, especially digital cameras, books, music, and videos, and the high-end gift sites as well.
Alan, this was supposed to be the make-or-break weekend for many Internet companies. Are there any companies doing worse than expected?
Well, the category that I'm still the most concerned about are what we call comparison sites. These are sites that you can go to look for a product across a number of different merchants. And yeah, they work okay for books and music and specific titles, but when you get into comparing products that might have different feature sets, different bundles, then I think it gets a little bit sort of curious. And I sort of wonder, moving forward, whether they're going to have a lot of value to the consumer.
Alan Weiner of Nielsen Net Ratings. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And here's what else is happening tonight. Federal regulators are set to approve Exxon's $81 billion purchase of Mobil, the biggest oil merger ever. The Federal Trade Commission will require the two companies to sell some 2,400 local gas stations. But BP Amoco's $29 billion plan to buy Arco is getting a closer look from the FTC as some regulators worry that the combined company will have too much control over Alaskan oil. The biggest name in cranberries, Ocean Spray, has decided not to sell off any of the company, but is promising big changes to cope with a glut in the cranberry market. As Randall Pinkston reports, with prices bogged down, many growers are seeing red.
For the third year, America's cranberry growers have a bumper crop, 7 million barrels nationwide. But farmers are not celebrating.
We have 3 million left over from last year. This industry is capable of selling about half of that. So we've got 2 crops to sell this year, and that can't be done.
Massachusetts farmer John Deacus is one of the nation's largest independent cranberry growers. With reports touting the health benefits of drinking cranberry juice, he and other farmers began adding new bogs. But it was much more than the market needed. Wholesale prices nosedived nearly 70%.
It's suppressed the price so badly that growers, unfortunately this year, are probably not going to get paid enough to cover their costs.
Many farmers blame juice giant Ocean Spray, charging it mismanaged production.
Obviously, our business is down over the last few years, and that hasn't helped the situation from a supply standpoint, but it is by no stretch the primary reason for the glut that we have right now.
Ocean Spray blames the weather and warns farmers the oversupply will not ease soon.
Patience is a very difficult thing to ask for of these growers right now, but unfortunately, that's what we need to ask for a little bit right now.
Farmers say they can't wait. So, to the disgust of environmentalists, some, like John Deacus, are selling land around their bogs to timber companies and real estate developers.
I prefer not to do it, obviously, but survival is necessary, and you have to do what you have to do.
But selling land could be only the beginning. As the glut continues, small cranberry farmers may be squeezed out, a sour end to another fruitful harvest. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, buoyant hopes for a new day at last in Northern Ireland. Also, a taste of things to come. Trade protesters get off to an early start in Seattle. And meet the man who says he broke the Bible's code.
Honey, turn off the light.
Has this ever happened to you? Introducing the Clapper, now with LED indicator lights. Lets your appliances turn on and off just by clapping. Clap on the music. It's easy. Just plug the Clapper into any household outlet, then plug in your lamp, TV, or stereo.
Clap on, clap on.
For places hard to reach, the Clapper makes it easy. Plus, the Clapper comes with an extra feature to make your home more secure. Turn to the away function and your lights turn on at the first sound it hears. Minutes later, they turn off, and the clapper resets to help protect your home. Leave your appliances plugged into the clapper, and lights will go on when unwanted guests arrive. The clapper, convenience and security in one.
The clapper's available at Big Kmart, Walgreens, Eckerd, Osco Save-On, Payless Cashway, and participating Ace and True Value hardware stores.
The jobs of tomorrow are here. Thousands of them, waiting to be filled. But you have to know the fields they're in, and you have to have what it takes to master those fields. Because you can't get the jobs of tomorrow until you get the skills of today. Start by calling ITT Technical Institute. We'll send you an informative brochure on tomorrow's careers and what it takes to get them. Call 1-800-ITT-TECH.
The impossible could be reality in just a few days in Belfast. If all goes well, Northern Ireland will start governing itself under an unprecedented coalition of Protestants and Catholics. Richard Roth tells us the breakthrough came when key Protestants voted to back the new peace agreement.
Northern Ireland's largest party of Protestants endorsed the plan at a convention today, but not by the largest majority. A 58% margin was enough, though, for party leader David Trimble to announce a stalemate's been cleared, and that Protestants will join Catholics to form a regional government in Northern Ireland next week. Trimble said they'll do it without demanding the Irish Republican Army hand in weapons first. But he publicly warned the IRA's political leader, Gerry Adams, it's a leap of faith that needs to be matched.
We've done our bit. And Mr. Adams, it's over to you. We've jumped. You follow.
The Unionists set a February deadline for IRA progress on disarming. It's just one of the hurdles still ahead, according to former U.S. Senator George Mitchell, who brokered the current agreement.
The political leaders are going to have to keep their nerve and keep their eye on the objective, which is, in the end, peace, political stability, and reconciliation.
There was still anger in Northern Ireland today from Protestants who fear they're giving up too much. But there was also the urge to celebrate and call it another step toward peace. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
With delegates gathering in Seattle for next week's World Trade Talks, protesters took to the streets of Paris. 10,000 people marched to the Bastille, expressing fears that greater free trade could cost French jobs and hurt the environment. They urged trade officials to put people before profits. Thousands of protesters have also made it to Seattle itself, including 2 women who dangled on a wall alongside Interstate 5. Protesters denounced the World Trade Organization talks as catering to the interests of big corporations. There is more to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. Should HIV-positive benefit recipients be forced to work? And later, elderly people just zipping along.
There's a revolution turning the vacuum cleaner world around. Cyclone power. But not all cyclones are created equal. Presenting the Phantom Cyclone XT.
It's different. It's better.
The people who brought cyclone power to the world take it to the extreme. Extreme cleaning power.
The thing eats up everything.
Only the power of 2 cyclones gives you a Phantom Cyclone XT. Extreme versatility.
I've never used a vacuum that does what the Phantom does.
The exclusive squeeze-and-go cleaning wand is all-reaching. It's all-surface with all the tools you need. A state-of-the-art HEPA filter and no bags.
Everyone can try to copy it, but the Phantom's got them licked. You wouldn't believe it unless you tried it yourself.
Call for a free video of the Phantom Cyclone XT vacuum. Cyclone power to the extreme. From the people who brought cyclone power to the world. Call now.
Get ready for the perfect gift.
Chia.
Introducing Looney Tunes Chia Pet Pottery Planters. Chia Elmer Fudd. Chia Tweety. And Chia Taz. It's easy. Just soak the Chia Pet, spread the seeds, water, and watch it grow.
Chia.
Don't forget original Chia Pet and Chia Head. Collect them all. Chia Pet and Chia Looney Tunes, the gift that grows.
Chia Looney Tunes available at Big Kmart, Long's, Walgreens, and Fred Meyer.
A monster feast in the AFC East. First, the Pats fight to stay alive against Buffalo. Then
And the Jets are juiced for Peyton and the Colts. The NFL on CBS.
In advance of World AIDS Day next week, the UN says nearly 34 million people around the world are carrying the virus that causes AIDS. Jacqueline Adams tells us that for thousands of New Yorkers who are HIV positive, the year 2000 could bring difficult changes in their lives.
Once addicted to drugs and on welfare, Olivia Brown now works full-time and goes to school. Though the mother of two tests positive for the virus that causes AIDS, she doesn't consider herself to be disabled.
I want to excel. I want to be what I should have been 10 years ago.
And that's why, starting next year, New York City's mayor wants the estimated 15,000 people like Brown to go to work, able-bodied welfare recipients who are HIV positive or have full-blown AIDS.
It's a win for the individual because they not only can continue working or re-enter the workforce, but also it gives them an opportunity to give something back in exchange for the public dollars that they're receiving.
Not so fast, cry AIDS advocates. HIV-positive welfare recipients can succeed, as Brown did, only if they work in clean, supportive environments.
They're going to have medical appointments that they can't miss. They're going to have fatigue, diarrhea.
Brown can't imagine anyone with a weakened immune system doing the jobs most workfare clients are forced into, sweeping and mopping. Yet there's no denying workfare's success. In 4.5 years, more than 500,000 New Yorkers have left the welfare rolls, and the city has saved some $113 million.
It took me a year and a half to get my benefits.
Some days, Bunny Coleman barely has enough energy to take her 30 pills. Though she loved being a legal secretary, Coleman now has full-blown AIDS. Being forced back to work, she fears, might strip her of the disability benefits she relies on.
Are they telling me now that because you're getting this money that you have to do as we say?
Congress has just eased those fears, passing a bill which guarantees medical coverage for anyone on disability who goes back to work. The bill's author, though, thinks New York City is wrong to force someone who's HIV positive into the job market.
There is a positive alternative, and that is to tell people that they can voluntarily enter the workforce and still keep their health care benefits, which are very precious to them.
Despite workfare's success, Lazio doubts the federal government will ever follow New York's lead, pushing HIV-positive welfare recipients back to work. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Longtime character actor William Benedict has died in Los Angeles at the age of 82. He played Whitey, one of the Bowery Boys, in a series of movies during the 1940s and 50s. He died of complications from heart surgery. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, how some active elders are scaling new heights.
For the latest medical news and information, visit our health website, cbshealthwatch.com.
Thanks, Shirley. You know, Tony, I've been thinking about life insurance again. We pay more for this coffee than we would for extra coverage.
She's right. You know, you can get good life insurance for 39 cents a day.
Probably from someone I never heard of.
Mutual of Omaha. United of Omaha, one of the Mutual of Omaha companies, has a plan where your payments never go up and your benefits never go down.
Good company. But I bet you still have to take a physical.
No. And before you ask, you won't be turned down and your coverage can't be canceled.
How much? And don't talk to me in units.
No units. With this, you know what you're getting. Up to $20,000 worth of coverage.
What, do you work for him, Cheryl?
Actually, we bought the plan before Harry passed away. My husband had this great gift for always listening to me. Smart guy, huh, Tony?
Call 1-800-428-0400 for your free information. That's 1-800-428-0400. Call now, 1-800-428-0400.
Have you ever found yourself in the dark trying to fix something? Then you know how hard it is to do some jobs without light in the right place. That's why you need the Craftsman Driver Light, available only from Sears. The Driver Light is a screwdriver that focuses a beam of light right where you need it. It allows you to see what you're doing, even in tight, dark spaces. The Driver Light has a magnetic shaft, which holds the bits firmly in place, and comes with 2 sizes of slotted bits, 2 Phillips bits, and 5 socket bits, all in a convenient storage case. At $19.99, it's a great value and makes a terrific gift. There are so many jobs you'll want to use the Driver Light for, like under-the-hood car repairs, computers, and home electronics, or whenever there's no good light source available. The Driver Light is made in America, and like other Craftsman hand tools, is guaranteed forever. Light up your dark jobs with the Craftsman Driver Light. Order a Driver Light today.
Call 1-800-348-1600 to order your Craftsman driver light for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Call now.
The State of the Union, the election year, and today's politics. Historians David Marinas, Taylor Branch, Doug Brinkley, and Cornel West on Face the Nation Sunday.
They say that you're never too old to get out there and learn new things. For many of us, that's just a saying. But for everyone else, there is something called elder hostel.
And slowly to the other side, and slowly.
If this is what comes to mind when you think of active senior citizens, get ready to rock your world. Meet Linda Stoner, a retired school teacher. And that's Sidney Schnoll. He's retired from Wall Street. They're not in training for some sort of competition.
Can't be that hard to get started, can it?
They're on vacation.
Tree hugger.
He's a tree hugger. Put those two slings together.
When the catalog comes, there's always something there that I enjoy. So I've only done this for about 3 years, and I've been on 16 of them.
She's talking about Elder Hostel, a nonprofit group that offers more than 10,000 classes in the U.S. and 76 other countries.
Feet flat on the wall, feet nice and wide, nice and wide.
There are 2 prerequisites. You must be 55 or older. And you've got to have moxie.
When you get older, if you get wiser, you're pushing yourself to do things, to be a bigger, better person. And this is, I think, is what life is all about.
Not every Elder Hostel class is this active. Other popular offerings include bird watching, watercolor, and history.
It's anything from snowshoeing to dog sledding, you know, it's all there. Is that it?
And once people discover what Elder Hostel has to offer, it's not unusual for folks to go to 3 or 4 courses a year. This is the 9th time for the Stoners.
Participation in lifelong learning, whether it's through Elder Hostel or some other program, really keeps people young. It keeps them energized and really improves the quality of their life.
Age, says Steve Richards, is a state of mind. The trick is to grow up without growing old. And next up on the CBS Evening News, everybody has a story, but even this guy's own family doesn't understand his.
Now celebrate the 60s with this incredible photo collection and music CD, free from Time Life. Here's how.
Larry King for Time Life.
Here's a photo of me with my gang, the Warriors, back in 1950. Photos like this always bring back memories of my years in Brooklyn, but let me tell you, this new book by Time Life, The 50s, really takes me home. It's part of our American century, a decade-by-decade scrapbook of our lives. What we drove, how we looked, who made us laugh and captured our hearts. It's all we experienced together. It's just incredible. Whether you're 19 or 90, you're part of this story, and Time Life captured it all. Turning the pages, you'll experience what life was like and see how we came to be who we are today. Each decade is filled with treasures only Time Life could bring you.
Call now to order the 50s for just $9.99. Use your credit card and get the 60s free, plus a free CD of 33 greatest hits of the 60s. That's a $55 value for just $9.99.
If the 50s defined our innocence, the 60s saw us come of age. And it's all here, from the voices and the struggles to the movies and the music that started a revolution.
Call now to order the 50s for just $9.99. Use your credit card and get the 60s free, plus a free CD of 33 greatest hits of the 60s. And there's more. Call right now and get a free commemorative calendar. Then examine other decades.
Folks, our American century is a collection you'll treasure for years to come. I know I will. So call now.
Call 1-800-525-7755 to order our American Century for $9.99 plus $3.99 shipping. Use your credit card and get the 60s free plus a free CD. Call right now and receive your free commemorative calendar or send check or money order to our American Century, Department 5, Richmond, Virginia.
He's not RoboCop. He's Future Cop. And in the next century, he'll be a reality.
He'll have more kinds of devices on his person,
but they're going to be a lot smaller.
The amazing high-tech weapons that police will be using to fight crime. Countdown to 2000, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Finally this evening, though we all wonder from time to time what the future holds for us, some people wonder a lot more than others. The throw of a dart sent Steve Hartman to a Florida spot where everybody has a story.
Gilchrist County lies along the beautiful Swanee River. Not exactly the setting you'd expect for a story about conspiracy, government secrets, and biblical prophecy. Who's the lucky one this time? And yet that's exactly what I found, with just one stab in the phone book. Paul Humphreys. Paul Humphreys is a 57-year-old retired Army sergeant. He moved here from Washington, where he worked in military intelligence.
Our motto was, "In God we trust, all others we monitor."
His job was to help break enemy codes, mostly during the Cold War. But here's where even he admits the story gets bizarre. One day, for whatever reason, Paul decided to see what would happen if he decoded a very different kind of message from a very different kind of superpower.
Let me see if I got this right. You took Revelations, you took those words, and you decrypted it as if it was a secret code.
Right.
And what did you learn?
Well, I was shocked.
He explains it all in a rambling 100-page thesis published on the internet that basically translates the Bible into an economic forecast, a dire economic forecast.
Remember, it's coming and there's not a thing you can do about it.
When I started this project, I made a promise to do a story on whoever answers the phone, no matter what they had to say. And if nothing else, Paul proves that I meant that. Here we have a guy who's convinced we're about to go through the worst economic depression this country has ever seen. And yet most people, including family, don't believe him. That's Paul's son, Dwayne. I flew him down here from Virginia to get his thoughts on why his dad would ever even think to decode the Bible.
It's almost like a brainwashing. That's exactly what the military does. It trains you to do things that you ordinarily would not do in everyday life. So what's a conspiracy theory to us is fact to him.
So real is the threat that Paul is already preparing for the Depression, which he says will hit next summer. He plans to grow vegetables and store canned food for fear it may soon be worth more than gold.
If you won't give it to them, they'll take it.
Which is why he's also armed.
It's like you can't get away from it. I doubt if you can. Like you can't get away from your arm. You know? It's there.
What happens if nothing happens by July of 2000? What does that say about you?
I missed the boat entirely. I missed that boat. It's gone. Went to the wrong pier on the wrong day.
And maybe then he can try a simpler approach to Bible study and perhaps realize that you get more out of it without reading so much into it. Steve Hartman, CBS News.
And that's the CBS Evening News. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, the art of Norman Rockwell and the music of Rosemary Clooney. Then on Face the Nation, a roundtable on the State of the Union. Thanks for joining us this Saturday evening. I'm Russ Mitchell, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online at keyword CBS News.